Because all was well. This is MuggleCast episode 269 for August 27th, 2013. The final episode of MuggleCast is brought to you by Audible.com. Audible is the leading provider of audiobooks with more than 150,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature, including fiction, nonfiction, and periodicals. For a free audiobook of your choice, go to audiblepodcast.com/MuggleCast. MuggleCast, MuggleCast, Muggly Casty MuggleCast.
Tell us something, please.
Whether it be a theory or the latest news.
New ride in the Harry Potter park?
Or fanfic or Joe's latest muse.
Our heads can do with filling with some interesting stuff.
Before you, we turned to muggles.
They didn't understand us and went in a huff.
So this is just to let you know
that we thank you for being around.
Welcome to MuggleCast episode 269, the final episode, unless something big happens in the Harry Potter fandom. This has been a long time coming. Let's first introduce everybody who's here. We have Eric, Micah, Ben, Kevin, and Mikey B. Hello, boys. It's a boys episode.
All boys here.
Hello. Okay.
But we also have messages from two ladies, Laura Thompson and Jamie Lawrence, coming up later in the show. So you get to look forward to those.
Well, first, though, I think we should credit Anna for that poem.
Yes. Yeah, so we just plagiarized it. Thank you to Anna.
Yeah, from Karachi, Pakistan. That's how you pronounce it correctly.
So we
made it to Pakistan, guys.
We finally made it.
That's why we're ending the show.
Yeah.
Because we made it that far.
Well, it's pretty crazy to think we have finally reached our final episode. Our first episode was in August 2005.
Ooh.
So, 8 years later, we're here with 269 episodes in the can. And Ben...
I'm just glad we all made it, that there weren't any, major drug overdoses or, just, the bad things that happens to groups,
Well,
Where are they now,
Yeah.
Those documentaries, Ben Shane,
In 10 years from now, I want MuggleNet's Keith Hawk to do a special MuggleCast episode called Where Are They Now? And it catches up on all 10 MuggleCasts go up.
I think he'd probably be willing to do that if we asked
He's just really excited that you just mentioned him on the final episode of MuggleCast.
I saw him the other day.
If I still have hair, then I'll be down. Or if I can afford hair plugs. Not that I'm losing my hair. It's just thinning slightly.
You're just really something you want to tell us, Ben? About? Yeah.
Just paranoid.
So the first episode back in 2005 was Kevin, Ben, and I. And I remember at the time, I think we've told this story before, there was people were interested in doing the idea of a Harry Potter podcast on MuggleNet, but it didn't really take off until we were a few episodes in, and people really liked it. And I was actually thinking earlier today, why did people like it so much? And I've always been asked that question a lot over the years. And the answer for a lot of people is that we've been people's Harry Potter friends, so to speak. They listen to us, they hear a friendly discussion about the latest Harry Potter news and theories and whatnot, and they enjoy it, they have a few laughs for 90 minutes a week. It's been a great show.
Yeah, that, and I think that there's a certain amount of, if you're really into something like Harry Potter and you want to have a nuanced discussion on such a matter, or listen to a nuanced discussion, I think that we really filled that void because, have you ever tried to talk to somebody who hasn't read the books or something and been all enthusiastic, and then they giving you that, hey, you're a weirdo look, so it's kind of like that. So we help make people feel normal.
That's never happened to me, Ben. Never, ever.
You never had that happen?
No, I'm lying completely. That happens all the time. You know?
Yeah, for like, hey, I flew to Florida for a Harry Potter conference. Like,
Right.
I mean, people kind of give you
I met my wife at a Harry Potter conference, so
There you go.
That's true.
It's the biggest one of them all.
But I think also we hit it, or you guys, started the podcast at the right time. Book 6 had just come out. We didn't know how long there would be till book 7. As it turns out, there was, 2 years. But in that 2 years were the first 100 episodes of MuggleCast. And now look at us, we're at, 269. But I think, all of that was speculation and the excitement that was just coming from being in that particular time and place for the Harry Potter series when we didn't know how it would end.
And Harry Potter was really a perfect podcast discussion. I mean, I've done podcasts about Twilight and the Hunger Games since then, but Harry Potter, there's so much to talk about in depth in the books. And of course, that's all thanks to J.K. Rowling for creating such detailed stories. I mean, thanks to her and only her, we were able to actually create 269 episodes of talking about Harry Potter, which to any outside fan, this is the second thing I always hear about. Second thing I most hear about MuggleCast is, what do you guys talk about?
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying to me. What, you're still recording?
Yeah, from outsiders, right? It's just yeah. It's funny, but if they read the books, they would probably
they just don't get it.
Yeah,
they just don't get it.
I'm with my people.
Micah?
I think you guys filled a void too. Like right at the beginning there, I mean, people had just read Half-Blood Prince and they were wondering what's next. And that the podcast was really a perfect forum for that.
Yeah, because not only do you get the analysis that you would find on forums, but you can hear the passion coming out of our voices as we were discussing it. And it's also just more fun than reading a forum or reading comments. It's much more interactive.
Yeah, I have to say that, going into, that first episode, in my mind, I don't know about Andrew or Kevin, but I didn't have any idea whether this was going to be a 1-month project or if it was going to flop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect us to, all of a sudden be getting these, like, the download amounts that we were getting. We started this because, like, we wanted to talk about Harry Potter and we had the platform through MuggleNet. And I mean, to me, if you would have told me back then that 8 years from now we'd be doing the final episode, I'd be like, wow, like 8 years, that's a long time for something like this, I think.
Kevin, were you nervous about doing the first episode, or did you have any reservations?
Well, I think to Ben's point, I sort of felt the same way, where I wasn't sure where it was going to go. I was definitely nervous. I remember distinctly being very, very apprehensive about recording my voice. Like actually, the actual act of purposely recording yourself is a bit nerve-wracking, I guess.
Yeah, and especially because we just didn't know what to expect, how people would react to the show. So it got a lot easier with each passing episode.
Yeah, and for me, it's not so much recording my own voice as it is listening to my own voice. Yes. And I don't think that I listened to the show, past like the 15th episode or so, because do I really sound like that?
I think it's normal for most people to like hate the sound of their own voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not true. If you've been around, like most people are just.
This is where you answer the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say, though.
He loves hearing his own voice.
I think it is fair to say one of the things that doing a show like this helped us develop is our voice, like how to speak too. It's not just that we can speak, but to speak succinctly and effectively.
Oh, definitely.
Something I still work on.
Says the Spieler man.
Yes, it's true. But just it gave a lot of confidence, I think, to a lot of us. I think I can say too, because we were able to communicate our ideas effectively and get such good feedback from people, so early on.
Yeah, MuggleCast definitely helped me develop speaking skills, not just on podcasts, but also in general with other people. I mean, sometimes I catch myself. I feel like I'm hosting a podcast sometimes when I'm in bars or something, and the other person I'm talking to is really boring, so I have to carry the conversation. I almost can't help but want to throw it over to Micah for the news because I'm like just in that zone.
Are you saying this is
that a hint?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I feel like
That was a perfect transition, Andrew.
with the news, yes.
Hey, you have been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
He didn't even know he was throwing that transition over to Micah.
No, I'm just so good now.
It was so seamless, yeah.
Micah, do you want to do the news? Normally you don't, but I feel like for old time's sake, you should.
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot, though, because there's zero preparation in this right now. But let's start off with some news. New Harry Potter covers are going to be released tomorrow,
August 26th.
And we're ending the day before the covers. Like, come on.
Well, no, this episode I think is coming out tomorrow. So,
but see, we can now have a whole conversation about what the covers mean. So, is this the last episode, or are we going to have a cover episode?
We've actually
already been released. Yeah.
How about we speculate about what's going to be on there?
Wait, the cover's already out. We've been talking about them for 10 episodes.
I know, but we don't have them in our hands.
That's what I meant. Mikey's right.
Yeah, guys, I think it's really important or special that we happen to end at least recording the night before these new books come out.
Yeah,
I wanted to say this a little later on, but since we're in the realm of reminiscing and that sort of thing, the 7 Harry Potter books that I'm sure we all have copies of and copies of by this point, are being replaced, at least by Scholastic, with these new covers that are for the next generation of fans. And so I can't help but, ask the question, well, what will come out? These were our books, the ones that we know from Merry Grand Prix. Now, what kind of crazy things will fans come up with, including podcasts for the next set of books? This is going on to the next generation.
It's not a different book. It's just a new cover.
Well, no.
I think it is
the Harry Potter special edition. George Lucas went back and added a bunch of special effects.
You know what I mean, though. Growing up, there was no other book to choose from. And,
but I think that the difference, Eric, would be in this case. I mean, with MuggleCast, we started it off when Harry Potter was, at its peak in terms of because of the speculation that was happening. I mean, I don't think I think most people, most kids today already know that Harry won. Like, if someone sees them reading Harry Potter or whatever, I mean. I'd be interested to know if like everybody knows that Harry won.
Eric's point is also that the new covers, and this is the whole purpose of Scholastic re-releasing these. It's to introduce the Harry Potter books to a new generation of readers, because these books are suddenly going to be standing out because they're brand new versions of the book. They're going to be right at the front of the store, and just reaching out to new generations of readers, maybe who are now 13 or 14. Of course, when the first book was published, they were just being born. They were a year old, or maybe not even born yet.
Oh, wow.
So, these will appeal to a new generation of people. Will people make new podcasts and stuff? They better not. Stay off my lawn, kids. Stay away.
Is this a challenge? Is this a hidden listener challenge here? Andrew, are you saying we'd come back and do more episodes if we had a new rival?
Why don't we just re-release all the episodes with a different,
there you go.
Different album art?
I like that idea. Actually, Mikey is the only married one here. I understand he's going to start the next generation of MuggleCast podcasters.
Not anytime soon. I will avoid that as long as I can.
Okay.
Sorry to hear that, Mikey.
Well,
children can be a rewarding experience.
Well, actually,
are you speaking from experience, Eric?
No, I'm not. Yeah. My 7 children across the world that.
We're going to continue with today's final episode of MuggleCast in just a moment. We're having a lot of fun today, and there's still a lot more fun to be had. But first, it is time to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com, our longtime sponsor. Audible is the internet's leading provider of audiobooks with more than 150,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature, including audio versions of many New York Times bestsellers. For listeners of MuggleCast, Audible is offering you a free audiobook to give you a chance to try out their great service. I think everybody knows what I'm going to recommend. This is such an easy bet. if you were a betting man, you would bet I am going to recommend The Cuckoo's Calling by J.K. Rowling. If you haven't read it yet, I recommend it. This is coming from somebody who did not enjoy The Casual Vacancy, but of course I was still going to give Rowling's other books a try because we all know she's a great writer. Casual Vacancy just wasn't for me, but The Cuckoo's Calling was. Man, it was good. As we're going to talk about The Cuckoo's Calling a little later on in the show, so I'll save my thoughts for then. But for now, I do recommend this. Go to audiblepodcast.com/MuggleCast. You can get The Cuckoo's Calling for absolutely free. We thank Audible for their support of the show. One last time, audiblepodcast.com/MuggleCast for your free audiobook. Speaking of these new covers, actually, breaking news just into the MuggleCast newsroom. J.K. Rowling will be speaking on Good Morning America tomorrow about the 15th anniversary of Sorcerer's Stone. So I will bet $5,000 she will not say absolutely anything interesting.
Wow.
Just because what can she say that's going to be interesting to a generic morning show host? Like, she's going to talk about how it's crazy that it's been 15 years and that's it.
Or new books.
Well, yeah, if she did that would be significant.
Yeah.
But
The funny thing is, in addition to these covers, and there was this huge media campaign from Scholastic releasing what the images of these covers would be, throughout the past couple months, actually. And they're all released now, but also it turns out that the spine of each of these books also makes up an image.
Yeah.
And also,
awesome.
it's an image of Hogwarts, so that's pretty cool. If you buy the box set, which I think has extra artwork and all that stuff, it's all really cool. But also the back covers, I wanted to just mention here, I've seen the back covers, and I may actually buy these books for the back covers because
he's going to have them covered down in his house.
I'm going to face them covered exactly. I think the back covers are actually some truly interesting pieces of art here that I think I like better than most of the front covers.
They're cool because you see Harry's back actually in each one or in almost all of them. And it's kind of like it's like you're seeing things from his perspective.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're also very simplistic and whatnot. It's pretty cool. By the way, I have to mention also the illustrator who made all these new covers is going to be in Los Angeles on Wednesday night, signing copies of the book and doing a painting demonstration. So if anybody's going, Ben, come on over. You can learn how to paint with me and Kazoo.
Yay.
Finger painting, yeah. We're going to finger paint the covers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his method.
So moving on from the new covers, do you want me to get this next one, Micah? Then you can get the other two.
Yeah,
I feel like you are
absolutely.
least informed about this one.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Oh, wow. F you.
What? I didn't do anything. No, I was going to say that I forgot one thing, which I'm somewhat disappointed Ben didn't jump in on. But when you threw the news over, I didn't do the obligatory thanks, Andrew.
Oh.
I thought it was gone forever.
But yeah, you can take the next story.
Okay. Thanks, Micah. Stephen Moffat has hinted that J.K. Rowling may write a Doctor Who 50th anniversary short story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, talk about cross-fandom mind explosion. I don't think any of us here are MuggleCast or Doctor Who viewers, but
is she just diluting her brand?
It's funny that you mentioned that.
Why?
I'm on season 3 now.
Oh, okay.
You
Of the
remember
new
how many
series.
times I tried to get you to watch Doctor Who in my apartment?
It's just not my thing, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not into science fiction.
Like, one day I realized there are more good TV shows and movies than there are, like, time left in my life.
That's true.
So you just gotta pick and choose. And I just couldn't choose Doctor Who. I wish I could be excited about this.
Okay.
Oh, but you have to understand, when David Tennant was Doctor Who, he actually did an episode about the 7th book before the 7th book was out. And he made jokes about what happened in the end. And he wouldn't tell anyone. It was awesome. So Doctor Who and Harry Potter have crossed over before. Sorry, I am a Doctor Who fan.
One thing to keep in mind, this is just a short story. She's not writing an episode, but she may be writing a short story in honor of the 50th anniversary. They're having 11 children's authors write them, and Stephen Moffat kind of suggested that she will be writing one of these. He was asked recently if it was true, and he said he couldn't confirm right now.
He also had hinted a long time ago in an interview that he had hoped she would actually write the episode.
Yes, they actually gave her an offer to write,
yep.
but she said no.
Oh,
She said Robert will take care of that for me.
Yes.
Kevin, by season 3, do you mean you're on like Tenet now, or did you go way
Yes.
about way? Oh, okay,
No,
cool.
So you're new Doctor. You're not going back to season 1.
But
Old Doctor Who.
yeah, I started with what like Amazon suggested, which was
I think
Season
most
1
people would
of
suggest
the
that.
new series, I guess.
Yeah,
The new series. Yeah.
I've been told
It's
to
good.
start with Eccleston. I think I will rewatch, but
I like Eccleston, but honestly, if you want to catch up now, you can probably just start after Tenet, even though Tenet was my favorite Doctor. You can start with Matt Smith.
All right.
Wow.
Because when they basically when Tenet moved on, they basically kind of redid the whole thing, so you can actually skip those previous 4 seasons if you want.
Fascinating.
Guys, Hypable,
Doctor Who cast.
Hypable does have a Doctor Who cast. You can join that one if you want to talk about that.
I know. Or are you going to talk about Star Wars too? I mean, let's keep going.
No. Micah, what else is going on?
Warner Brothers and Universal have announced their own Harry Potter con at the Wizarding World Orlando. I guess they finally caught on to this thing that's been going on for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's going to be on January the 24th of next year. And a lot of cool things going on. This is not too different. They did something similar to this in the past, didn't they?
Yes, it was called Harry Potter Home Entertainment Celebration.
Well,
That's
that
what
was a
Eric
little
went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little different, but it wasn't that much different, but it was because of the public's access to it. This is like for the public. And what's similar is that a ton of actors, have they released the
No.
list yet of who's going to be there? Okay. A series of, members of the cast and crew will be on site and accessible, through different ways, on site at the Wizarding World theme park. During this convention. For the home entertainment celebration, it was more of a press event. There were several, local fans who were able to kind of stand behind in a separate area of the red carpet, but they did like a red carpet thing to celebrate all the films being out on home video on DVD.
Yeah.
But this was very reminiscent of that. You're right. Just because it's the idea of having a VIP event in the park like only Universal can really pull off and schedule because it's their park.
Right. And yeah, exactly. They have things here. They're going to have Q&A sessions, a Harry Potter film tribute, which I don't know what that is. Wand masterclass with Paul Harris, one of the wand guys from the movies who taught the actors how to maneuver
Are you
their
going to
wands.
that class?
Yeah, I love wands. Mm-hmm. Early park admission, breakfast at the Three Broomsticks, a private evening event. And I suspect
What's that mean? What's that mean? Private evening event.
It's like the ones that's been at the other Harry Potter cons.
Do you bring your wand to that?
Yes.
So it's like roped off, like a VIP.
I don't know.
The park has its normal business hours of operation, and then I'm certain that this would be after those hours. They would close the park
right
to those outside guests, and then just the ones who are going to this could attend.
Right.
How many people are they? Is it as many people? Yeah.
It says no. It's limited. There's a certain amount of tickets for the reserved areas for the Q&As and whatnot. I mean, this is a cool idea. Like we said, they already did one of these before. A lot of people are comparing this to Mikey's going to know this Star Wars Celebration. It's called.
Yep, celebration. The different Star Wars celebrations.
Yeah,
Mikey gets to talk about Star Wars. Tell us more.
Who would have guessed, right?
What's the Star Wars celebration? What is that?
Well, the original celebrations actually came about with the release of the new films, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And so they've kept it on going with anniversaries of the films. Basically, the Star Wars celebrations are kind of like Comic-Con, but all Star Wars based. So there's always panels with actors and everything. You could. Like at Comic-Con, you can buy, your your signature from the actor of your choice and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So these are the things that have been keeping that Mark Hamill guy, is that his name, in like employed, right?
Except he's the Joker in all the Batman cartoons.
There's a ton of voiceover work.
Yeah. Mark Hamill.
Is it Disney or Universal that does this? that Star Wars things?
Well, Disney just bought them. It was actually Lucasfilm for the longest time. And they also, what was really cool about Lucasfilm doing these celebration things is kind of what I hope Warner Brothers is going to do with Harry Potter and Universal is going to do. It's kind of encourage fan productions. Like, one of the great things at the celebrations is they even did like Star Wars fan film festivals. And they and Lucasfilm gave away awards for different fan films and different things like that. And I hope that they'll kind of push Harry Potter to do stuff like this too, because it's a great fandom to be in.
The timing of this is also set for the fact that it's going to be a slow time. It's the winter months, so they'll pull some extra traffic in during this typically slow period for the park. Not to mention, a lot of people know that the Diagon Alley expansion is going to be happening in the following summer. So a lot of people may be like, well, we're just going to wait for that to open before we go. I suspect that if I were a betting man, they will probably announce announce something at this Harry Potter celebration. So when you go there, they'll preview some rides or the new rides or something like that.
Yeah.
By the way,
I would be surprised. Oh, I was just going to say, if you start getting invites, MuggleNet starts getting invites, I would think that would be a telltale sign that they're going to reveal something about the new park.
Breaking news for this story as well. I have been signed on to attend. I will be talking about my Tower of Falling Dumbledore ride concept and petitioning for that to be created there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It will be a half-hour Q&A. You can ask me anything and everything about it. Tickets are now on sale.
How does that work? Do you ride Dumbledore as
Well, no. Picture the Tower of Terror at Disney World. Tower of Terror at Disney World, right?
Okay.
So you get strapped on to Dumbledore's back, and you kind of go up the tower.
Does this answer your question? Or is it just raising more questions than it's answering?
Why did he have to fall from the tower? I don't understand that. Like, he didn't have to die. Like, that didn't kill him. Like, he was dead, right?
Please.
Gonna die anyway. To quote the previous MuggleCast
I just won
episode.
bingo. We referenced all the little things from our past, I think. Enough for me to win the card.
What else is going on in the news? One other big story, Micah. What could it be?
Pottermore, the last time we'll ever talk about it on this podcast.
You think? Could this be the last time?
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt it. But they did some big changes. They overhauled the homepage with a brand new design, and they implemented this new story navigator feature, which really changes the way that users interface and use the website. And I actually like it, to be honest with you. I checked it out not too long ago.
Well, yeah, the big deal about this is that you no longer have to go through every single moment. You can just skip around and be wherever you want to be. So when new chapters come out, let's say you just joined Pottermore today, you can go straight in and jump straight to the Sorting Hat. You don't have to do all that crap beforehand. And that's what a lot of people were asking for. They didn't want to go through all this stuff to get to the Sorting Hat. Just sort me so I can leave.
Yeah, that stuff happens in Chapter 7, Chapter 13. I think, getting your wand and getting sorted and all that stuff. It was stressful to go through and not be able to get sorted right away.
But see, it was supposed to be like rewarding when you finally got sorted because you work through all of that. You know what this reminds me of? The special features on the first DVD. Do you remember how god awful those were?
That was awful.
It was you had like this. It was like freaking reading Chinese for me. I didn't.
True story, Ben. Last month, I had to look up, and God bless Google Cache for looking at like older websites. I had to look up how to break into the special features of my Sorcerer's Stone DVD because I couldn't win the Tap the Bricks, mini scene there. So I found it.
That was a pain.
I got them. But it took a while.
So Pottermore is trying to change. They're doing these changes. I think that was the biggest stuff that they're revealing over the next few months. We'll see if they announce anything else. But it's also
wrapped Prisoner of Azkaban, though, didn't they?
Right.
It's now done.
Right. I want to talk about this theory briefly. Mike and Eric, please stop me if I've talked about this already. My theory about the Harry Potter Encyclopedia not happening until Pottermore is finished.
Okay.
Have I talked about that?
No.
Oh, really? Well, just briefly, I think we are not going to see a Harry Potter Encyclopedia by J.K. Rowling until Pottermore has released all of its chapters. Because Sony seems to have a stronghold over J.K. Rowling and talking about anything with the encyclopedia. You guys may remember when she revamped her website last year, she inadvertently announced that she was working on the encyclopedia. And then we all caught wind of it. We all wrote about it on our websites. And then a couple days later, they updated the blurb and she took out all mentions of an encyclopedia and said, I'm just really enjoying working on Pottermore right now.
This is shady.
It was. Here, I'll give you, these are the exact quotes. I dug these up the other day. She had said, this was what was originally on the site. For a long time, I've been promising an encyclopedia of Harry's world, and I've started work on this now. Some of it forms the new content in Pottermore. It is likely to be a time-consuming job, but when finished, I shall donate all royalties to charity. So that's a clear statement. Harry Potter Encyclopedia book, because she's going to be donating the royalties to charity. There's no royalties involved with Pottermore. I guess so. Nah, it's probably not. And then it changed to this a few days later. I have been enjoying sharing information about Harry's world on Pottermore for free and don't have any firm plans to publish it in book form. That was it.
Yeah, wow. Somebody screwed up. Fire that web producer.
Well, somebody said, take that back, Joe.
Well, yeah, I think Pottermore saw this and said, wait a second, don't take the attention off of Pottermore. It's all about us right now. So I suspect we're not going to see it until Deathly Hallows is out on Pottermore.
I will say, too, we get a lot of some flack sometimes for talking about Pottermore, but you know what? I haven't been able to keep up with all of the special new environments that are happening at Pottermore at PlayStation Home for PlayStation 3.
Nobody cares about that.
No, I'm serious. I really do care about it.
Paid by PlayStation?
I know you've talked about it so much.
No. It's Pottermore. I did this review for it. This was ages ago when there were only 3 areas. There are now like 10 areas you can go to.
Cool.
You can go to class. You can go to Hogwarts. You can ride the train. I'm telling you guys, Pottermore itself is updating faster than I can keep my, an eye on it. And also Pottermore PlayStation Home. So I just have to say, I'm really excited to go try that whenever I can.
And once again, Pottermore, PlayStation Home. That's Pottermore, P-O-T-T. Who's read The Cuckoo's Calling?
Well, just before you go, I mean, I know we've done our fair share of analyzing Pottermore over really since it's been released, but there is some really cool information on Lupin towards the end of Prisoner of Azkaban. So I would encourage people to go and read it. It's probably the most in-depth information that we've gotten from J.K. Rowling in Pottermore, in terms of how long the entry is. So, we do make fun of it and have our jabs at it from time to time, but I do think it's still a great resource because, Andrew, you pointed out, this may be the only place we get this information for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and actually that information about Lupin, there's a bunch of stuff on his relationship with Tonks as well that is all new, and I purposely wrote up a article on Hypable just about that new info because I knew people love Lupin so much, and the article was really popular. So if you don't want to log into Pottermore, you can just go to Hypable and read it.
Oh, it's the 5th Hypable plug.
No, it's not.
Past page 1.
Well, while we're plugging things and while we're on the subject,
can you learn about The Cuckoo's Calling on Hypable too?
Yeah, we cover everything.
Oh,
okay. There you go. The Remus backstory was analyzed by another one of the Harry Potter podcasts out there called Alohomora. They did a special episode last week where they looked through the Remus stuff as well. I wasn't on that episode, so it's okay for me to plug it.
Okay, so
if you were on it, then I would understand you plugged it.
Well, I'm on that podcast now full time, so besides that episode, so I can plug it then.
Let's talk about The Cuckoo's Calling. This is J.K. Rowling's second book after the Harry Potter books. We all know about it already. Who's finished reading it? Just me?
I just had it like saved,
Well, Okay, I've actually finished reading it, and one wise Alec, by the way, I read somewhere, commented, was jabbing at me because they were like, "Oh, Andrew finally finished a adult J.K. Rowling J.K. Rowling book." Like, yeah, I did.
That you only read children's books.
Well, no, because I stopped reading Casual Vacancy because I didn't like it. I think that had something to do with that.
Was it too complex for you?
No, actually, Ben. But I enjoyed The Cuckoo's Calling very much. It had pictures, which have made it easy for me to get to.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't seen any pictures.
I don't have the picture version.
Andrew only watches TV shows and stuff that have like the little bouncing ball and the words across the bottom.
Right. Karaoke videos. No, but The Cuckoo's Calling, it's much more to J.K. Rowling's writing abilities. Being her writing a mystery, much better, I thought, than The Casual Vacancy, because it just plays into her strengths more as an author. I enjoyed the entire book. It was a really great twist at the end. However, it was a bit of a info dump, I guess you could say. Like, everything kind of unraveled at once, and it's just pages and pages of explanation.
Wow, okay.
It could have been spread out a little bit more.
It's interesting that you say that, because I'm about maybe like 300 pages into the book, and I just feel like more needs to happen faster. Like, it's just they take so much time building up this detective sort of interviewing each of the people that are, I not really considered suspects because the investigation is closed.
Well, Mike, you got to appreciate the build up so that you can appreciate the climax, and then the denouement and the resolution, etc.
That's a great point, man.
But
I'm about 100 pages in, and
that's nothing.
He's only started. He's only started. What was that, Mikey?
I only started it this week, but the first bit of it, because I read it a long time ago on the free Bart Fry books. But what I liked about it was that first chapter was all about it reminded me of Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard, the movie. It starts at the murder.
Hey, whoa!
What?
I'm still on the title page. I haven't even.
Okay.
He's looking at the picture still.
Yeah.
That girl's pretty.
I do fully intend to finish reading it. Unlike Casual Vacancy, I really do want to finish reading it. I'm glad you finished. That's really cool.
Yeah, I did it all by myself.
Well, it gives me hope, is all I'm saying.
It was just good. I thought, going against what Micah said, I thought it actually moved at a great pace, and I found it interesting to hear from all these different characters as Strike, that's the lead character, is interviewing them. And him and his assistant, Robin, I think they have a very fun chemistry to read. By the way, J.K. Rowling has said she already finished writing book number 2, so.
Yeah.
Yay.
The Cormoran Strike series.
But
no, honestly, I can't wait to read it because I want to reread the Harry Potter series because I feel like it's been a long time since I've reread the books, and it's kind of like there's a movie you've watched a ton of times, and then you wait a few years and watch it again. You're like, oh yeah, that's why this movie was so awesome.
Yeah.
I doubt when they win the Quidditch Cup in Prisoner of Azkaban, I'll be jumping on my bed like I was 13. But I want to recapture the magic.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that we're talking about that, not just because the new books are coming out, but also regarding The Cuckoo's Calling and Harry Potter. I know this from Chris Rankin on Twitter, the actor who played Percy Weasley in the films. He says that the geographical location in London for Cormoran Strike, the detective, his office is actually David Heyman's office, Heyday Films headquarters, where a lot of those actors went to audition for their parts in Harry Potter.
Wait, so he's saying that David Heyman sleeps in his office?
No. The sleeping in their office thing is probably purely or possibly doubtfully a Cormoran Strike only thing. But that is the office location for a Heyday Film. So it was a little nod by J.K. Rowling back to either Harry Potter or David Heyman.
Okay.
Strike reminds me a lot of Mad-Eye Moody.
He does. Yeah, you're right, actually. And there is something about him that is very similar to Mad-Eye. Very similar. A couple of things.
His leg.
Oh, no, why would you spoil that?
You can edit it out.
No, it's all right. It's too late. I want everybody
And
to
edit
hate
it
you.
out of Mikey and Ben's ears.
What about me?
I don't think it's the
And
big
Kevin.
reveal. Kevin,
Kevin's-
you're the one who read Deathly Hallows before it came out, so I don't feel too bad.
Okay, we have a listener rebuttal here. Who wants to
Rebuttal.
read it?
I want to read it.
These segments. Listener rebuttals. You guys remember these?
Yeah, I missed them.
Sweet Caroline says, "Hey, MuggleCasters. First of all, I've been a listener of the show for 6 years, and thank you so much for an amazing podcast. I have really enjoyed listening to MuggleCast over the years, and although I'm sad to see my favorite podcast go, I wish you all luck in the future. Second, I was just listening to episode 268, and you guys were discussing Rupert Grint and wondering if it was common for movie actors to do theater and after being famous. It is not uncommon for some famous actors to spend some time in the theater after they are famous. It's not just a Harry Potter actor thing. A few recent examples are Emilia Clarke, Jane Lynch, Jeff Goldblum, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Hanks. Just thought you ought to know. Thanks, Caroline, 19. Clemson, South Carolina." Wow. I wish I had been on this episode because
I know.
I could have told you guys off.
You know what I really like about that rebuttal is it's not really a rebuttal. It's a statement that Andrew was wrong. I mean, that's what happened.
No, there was nothing wrong that we did. All we were wondering if it was common for movie actors to do theater.
Feeding people misinformation, dude.
I know you're like it's only a Harry Potter thing. Is what I got from that.
I will step in for Andrew, and because I think it was pretty much me who said it too anyway. That we were relying on the intellect of our listeners to give us more information than we had presently at the time of recording. And that is exactly what has just happened. Thank you, Caroline.
You have Google in front of you.
And here's a major throwback. This is from Thea. She says, "Hello, I was just listening to episode 219. I realized that a female host could have added so much insight into the show. Oh well, this episode was made in 2010. Full disclosure, Eric Skull added that in. I don't know why.
Oh, I added that. Oh, it was because it was a rebuttal as well, but it was kind of
but it's from 2010.
I'm just trying to group them together. You know, leave no email unread is my policy.
What was since you put it in here? What was episode 219?
I looked it up. Actually, I put that in there too. It was a progressive castle. I don't know what it was actually talking about, but apparently it was an all
there
guys
weren't show notes.
You didn't listen to the whole episode?
I would have to look. It was called A Progressive Castle.
Well, judging by that title, we probably talked about like gay rights at Hogwarts or something.
It was. Let me look at it. I'll tell you in a moment here.
Oh, and we probably totally missed women's rights at Hogwarts, didn't we?
Probably something like that.
Yeah. Whoops.
It was from January
Sorry.
23rd, 2011. We spoke about chapters 21 through 23 of Goblet of Fire. So.
Oh, it doesn't sound so mind-blowing, but yeah.
On the last episode of MuggleCast, Jamie was actually on episode 268, and he introduced us to anti-jokes. And it kind of bombed.
They were supposed to.
But that's the point, though.
That's the point of anti-joke.
But then why even do it if it's going to bomb? Anyway, Allie, several of our listeners sent in anti-joke suggestions after we requested them.
Yeah.
Allie sent in this one. Why did the plane crash? Because its pilot was a loaf of bread. See, aren't these dumb? These are the worst jokes ever. Allie says for some reason that one gets me every time.
Let's just
like once they marinate a bit, then I think they're funny. But like initially, it's just like what?
Can we analyze this one, please? Analyze this. So if a plane crashed, it's because the pilot was a loaf of bread. Bread doesn't have arms.
That explains why it crashed.
I can see why you appreciate it, Mikey.
The bread doesn't have arms.
This next one is from Daniel. He prefaces this by at least admitting that it's terrible. The joke is, 2 oranges are rolling down a hill. One says to the other, "Where do you live?" The other replies, "I'm not telling you. You might steal my washing." Okay, see, these are the worst things on the planet, and this is worse than any podcast that we've ever done ever.
I like this next one though. This is a good one.
Go ahead.
Anti-joke. What's orange and tastes like an orange? An orange. Oh, that is clever.
What's with Anna and Daniel both using oranges? Are they
oranges?
common?
I think oranges are the. I think the oranges are the center of the time-space continuum, and anti-jokes in particular have to revolve around them in order to be anti-jokes.
It's the citric acid. Compound in citric acid that causes the anti-joke.
There you go.
Well,
Eric, you are an anti-joke. I'm just kidding.
Oh, ow.
Eric, I like anti-jokes.
I like you too.
Like I mentioned earlier, we have messages from Laura and Jamie. They couldn't make it today. They really both wanted to, but they just couldn't because of our recording time. So
it's not acceptable.
Let's listen to... You're right. Forget about this.
It's the last episode. You know what?
This is awesome. We get to heckle them without them being here. So
yeah. So here we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be there on this final regular episode of MuggleCast. The way I'm recording this feels to me like one of those films where they put a videotape on and there's a person in slippers and a dressing gown sitting by the fire, and he says, "If you're seeing this, then I'm already dead." But no, I'm sorry I can't be there. It's because I'm going on holiday tomorrow for a week, and they're recording it brilliantly right when I'm away. So sorry. I hope everyone enjoys the final episode. It feels like a very long time, a lifetime, in a good way since we started recording the show. Some incredible things have happened. We've met some incredible people. We've done some really enjoyable things, and we've had a laugh, and really enjoyed all the things we've talked about. There's been some incredible analysis and jokes. Those have been my favourite part of it, probably. And I'd just like to say thanks very much for everyone who has tuned in over the years, especially the regular listeners who have been with us either right from the very beginning or from an early stage. Without you, we wouldn't have got to this episode now. I'm not sure which one this is. Is this 267, 268? But there's no way we'd be even close to this if it wasn't for you. So thank you very much. This is not going to be the end. Is there ever going to be a proper end? I don't think so. This is just the end, obviously, of the regular ones. So I'm hoping to come back when we do a new one soon for a special announcement, or some new book came out, or J.K. Rowling's been unmasked as Edward Snowden, or something like this. Some incredible stories. So I hope to catch everyone soon and enjoy this final episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's Laura. I just wanted to record a little something to offer my final thoughts for our last episode of MuggleCast. First of all, please excuse me for sounding like a total frog. I'm recovering from a really nasty chest cold right now. So anyway, even though it breaks my heart not to be able to record the final show with everyone today, I'm so looking forward to hearing the episode when it comes out. I figured a big portion of tonight's show would be looking back at our favorite moments since the show started all that time ago, and I'd like to share with you a couple of mine. The live show in Las Vegas in 2006 was my first live show, and I feel far enough removed from that day to admit that I was sweating bullets when I realized how many people were going to be in that room watching us. I was literally shaking when I took my seat at the table, but then the audience cheered so loud when I suggested that Snape was in love with Lily that I forgot about my fears and was able to let loose a bit and actually enjoy that moment. Up until that point, our listener base was just a number on the screen to me, and intellectually, I knew there were a ton of you, but it wasn't until I was lucky enough to interact with the incredibly kind-hearted and enthusiastic people in the audience that day that I realized just what an effect the show had on both the audience and ourselves. My other favorite memory is of going to London for the Deathly Hallows release in 2007. Aside from the obvious reason of getting my hands on the book and having the opportunity to travel, I love looking back on this trip because there was such a camaraderie amongst all of us staying in that tiny little hotel room, propped up on our pillows, reading at lightning speed to try and beat each other to the end. I knew I had good friends in my fellow co-hosts, but there was something so incredibly familiar and comfortable about that atmosphere that really made it feel like home, and I know it's because of the people I was sharing the experience with. Andrew, Jamie, Eric, and Kevin were also nice enough to only laugh at me a little bit for crying when Hedwig died, which I thought was pretty diplomatic. Overall, though, there are so many reasons why MuggleCast has been an amazing part of all our lives. I started doing the show when I was 16, and that's an age where you're so desperately trying to figure out who you are and where you're going. It's safe to say that my experience on the show led me to discover interests I may not have ever known I had, and I think it's what ultimately started me down the path towards becoming a teacher. It's definitely a bittersweet moment to say goodbye to the show, but the show and its success and longevity are a testament to the amazing things all of the hosts are doing and will continue to do as we grow older, and that's true of the listeners too. Being passionate enough to produce a show means nothing unless there are people passionate enough to listen. And to all of our listeners, I can't thank you enough for giving myself and everyone else on the show a voice. You guys are all awesome and will always, always have a special place in my heart. Take care.
Thank you, Laura and Jamie, for both of those messages. It was nice to hear from them one last time. Of course, they'll be invited on future episodes if we do that for whatever reason.
We have a question about that, actually, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Perfect
here.
Transition right here on this listener rebuttal. And this is actually the reason it came after the other listener rebuttals is because it turns into a what if segment.
Okay, so this comes from Becky from Australia. She writes, "Thank you for 8 awesome years of podcasting. I've been listening since April 2006 when I was 14, and I'm very sad that the show is ending. I love all of you except Andrew." Wow, okay. I have a couple of questions. Why would this be included? I have a couple questions for you and an idea for a segment. Last month, you were discussing the similarities discovered by linguistic computers between The Cuckoo's Calling, The Casual Vacancy, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which confirm that J.K. Rowling is Robert Galbraith. Do you think that if the entire Harry Potter series was examined by these linguistic computers, they would find the significant parallels between books 1 and 7, 2 and 6, 3 and 5? My other question is, what is your plan for future discussions about The Cuckoo's Calling and its sequels? Have you been covering this on Hype? Oh, she's referring to the podcast on Hypeable.com, boys. Or will you release special episodes of MuggleCast to discuss the future books and other Cuckoo news, blah, 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 blah.
But you have another website?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't need this listener to hate me anymore.
No. Andrew, you've been bluffed, or you've been hoodwinked.
Oh.
Here. Becky actually said, and this may have been Kevin, who was trying to get out of reading this, I think I should just slam you, Kevin. But whatever, it originally said, "I love all of you, especially Andrew."
Yeah, I actually changed that to accept.
Oh, it's Ben. Okay, yeah. Ben messed up.
So you blame me.
You didn't want to read it. I don't know.
Okay, so to answer her questions, that's a good question. Using the linguistics experts to see if there's similarities, I would guess no. The linguistic experts wouldn't be able to see similarities between 1 and 7, 2 and 6, 3 and 5, because that's more about the words.
Well, they would see it between all the books.
Yeah.
Well, it's the plot.
Same style.
Because they're linguistic experts. It's not about the plots. It's about the way in which she uses her linguistics.
Right, and they would all be the same across all 7 books, I think.
And Cuckoo's Calling and the Casual Vacant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a forensics
thing. Isn't that what John Granger does?
Yeah.
Does he analyze that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's a literary structure called ring theory. It's one of the options, and he's got a lot of evidence stating that J.K. Rowling has subscribed to this in the past. It's about tying books or series with multiple installments together using a sort of internal referencing system, and it kind of ends up being built into our culture, the way certain things relate to each other. Like the beginning and the end tie into each other and all that other stuff. So It's kind of exciting, but I think if a linguistic computer were to analyze it, they would find, I mean, it's kind of two different functions. You know, one was to determine if these two supposedly separate authors were the same based on how they set up, you know, their sentences, basically, I guess it would be. And then plots, even though they are similar and may have similar things that happen in them, like rising action, falling action, I think those are the words that J.K. Rowling used to describe each of those was different enough for us that I don't think a computer would pick it up.
And then about the question, what are we going to do about covering Cuckoo's Calling? You know, we'll play that by ear on MuggleCast. And, you know, I know everybody's like hating on me for plugging Hypable, but yeah, we do cover it on Hypable. Sorry, make your own Cuckoo's Calling site.
It's okay, Andrew. Becky loves you. Remember, this is an especially Andrew, not an except Andrew moment.
I'm waiting for somebody to make StrikeNet.
StrikeNet.
Yeah, that's a cool name, right?
Yeah.
So we will play all future Harry Potter and Cuckoo's Calling and other J.K. Rowling book news by ear. Time will tell. Thank you, Becky, for your email.
She does have a what if there at the end.
Oh, okay. What if... Go ahead.
Finally, the segment. I'd like to hear each of your answers to the following question. If you could live in just one Harry Potter book, as in live through Harry's year at Hogwarts in that book, but not necessarily be Harry, which book would you choose and why? And would you like to be Harry or another character or just yourself?
Book one, because everything's just pleasant.
I was just going to say that. And that's exactly the reason, because you wouldn't want the school like blowing up around you while you were going to school.
Well, and not to mention like being prepared to die. I'm not ready to die.
So you guys would choose just an uninterrupted, swell year at Hogwarts, you know, kind of in its prime. Yeah, I think that's probably the right way to go, the safe way to go.
I would do year 3.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be the year.
But who would you be? That's the second part of it.
Filch.
I don't think Filch ever had an easy year.
No, he didn't. Poor Filch. No, I would be. I mean, who wouldn't want to be Harry? It's like,
especially with the time turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he, you know, he had never had a legitimate father figure, and like Remus and Sirius were both introduced. Mm-hmm. So that was a good time for Harry.
Yeah.
I think Andrew would want to live in book 4 and be the egg that Harry takes to the bath with him.
That is a great idea. I'm changing my answer.
I've been thinking about this right now. Probably year 5. I know we had Umbridge, but I'd want to be one of the twins.
Mm. And Micah, did you? Which one?
Is Fred dead or George?
Fred
dies.
Okay.
Fred dead. Ryan.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I think it's year 5 though. You get to, presuming you could just disappear for a year, come back, and the year would end. You could be either one.
And
it'd be year 5, just because, you know, the rebellion, you know, the rebelliousness of that.
Yeah.
And Micah?
I agree with Ben. I think probably year 3.
Oh, thought you were going to say the egg with Harry in the tub.
No, that's all you, buddy.
So, Ben, you have created a top 10 list in honor of the final episode?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact. I was so excited to do this final episode, not because it's over, which is actually kind of what the list is about.
Oh, okay.
The top 10 reasons a MuggleCast reunion might happen. Number 10. Spielerman Eric Skoll simply can't stop spieling and proceeds to write a series of exhaustive emails until Andrew can't take it anymore and pleads with all the co-hosts to come back just to get Eric off his back. What do you guys think of that one?
Yeah,
that's most likely so far.
Might happen. Why is it number 10?
I know. Why is it number 10 there?
You better have 9 better ones.
Number 9, J.K. Rowling finally learns who Micah Tannenbaum is and is so upset that she ever pissed him off that she writes him a letter personally. Number 8, Pottergate. J.K. Rowling sex tape leaks. Number 7, Investigative reporting from National Security Agency journalist Glenn Greenwald reveals that there actually is a real Wizarding World, and the reason J.K. Rowling made so much money off the franchise is because she took a payoff from the Death Eaters to spin the tale to the Muggles that the Order and Harry and company actually won.
Interesting.
Wow. Number 6, Mikey Bouchereau is crowned the world's smartest man by Stephen Hawking. Number 5, the same reason that every rock band from the mid-70s was back together for a reunion by the mid-90s. We all go broke and we need the camaraderie. Number 4, a sinkhole swallows the entire Wizarding World theme park in Orlando. Number 3, a one-on-one with Laura Mallory. She comes back from the dead and rallies around the tea party and goes on a witch hunt, and she's finally willing to sit down and go toe-to-toe with the MuggleCasters. Number 2 is Pottergate Part 2. J.K. Rowling finally realizes she got ripped off with Pottermore and files suit against all of the people who thought that was a good idea. And number 1, because we feel like it and no theory is safe.
Oh, that was beautiful, Ben. Good job. Good job. I was impressed by that, actually.
I was too.
There's a lot to that.
Ben was legitimately funny.
It was complicated. Ideas I didn't think about.
Yeah, no, that was well thought out. Those were things I would not have expected.
Thank you, guys.
I liked Pottergate number 1, the J.K. Rowling sex tape.
Hey, wouldn't we come back for that?
Yeah, but when you said that, I was thinking, like, what would we even talk about?
That would be like watching your mom, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I would never watch that.
I would actually never watch it. Yeah.
I don't want to ask Ben if he would watch it or not.
Let's not pay any more attention.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment. No comment.
Your silence is common enough.
Okay, let's get to some emails, and then we have some tweets. You know, of course, MuggleCast has always been about the listeners, and the listeners have been the ones who have always supported us through the years. Not J.K. Rowling. So let's hear from them. Let's turn the mic around. This first one's from Samantha. She writes, "Hi, MuggleCast." By the way, J.K. Rowling never coming on the show now that we've speculated about a J.K. Rowling sex tape.
Yeah.
Especially if it involves one of the MuggleCast hosts as well.
Well, hang on. Didn't you promise, Micah, that there would be J.K. Rowling in some form on this episode?
Yeah, I did. The show's not over yet.
You better prepare that. You better prepare that.
This is the part of the show where we get emails from listeners saying, "You guys need more women."
Audio from the sex. Never mind.
No, stop it. This is pleasant. Okay, so this first email is from Samantha. MuggleCasters, I know you must be getting so many of these. I discovered you guys when I was 16 and desperately waiting for Deathly Hallows to come out. I didn't have any friends who were into the Harry Potter books in high school, so MuggleNet was my refuge in those frenzy months leading up to the release. One day I gave you guys a listen, and we've been best friends ever since. You were all there for me when I didn't have anyone else. I celebrated Book 7 and everything that had passed and would come with you all. You don't know this, but you have been with me on the darkest and most important days of my life. You were in my ears on my first day of college and when my boyfriend broke up with me. You were there every morning that I woke up when I studied abroad and every night when I couldn't sleep my senior year in my very own apartment. You wrote my huge final paper with me on the quad and kept me calm before commencement. You were there on the morning of my first commute to my first big girl job a few months ago. I hope you truly know how amazing each and every one of you are and how important this has been to so many people. I wish you all well on the many amazing endeavors that are sure to come your way, and I eagerly look forward to the special edition of MuggleCast that will happen when Joe tweets something relevant. So to
Reason 11, Ben. Joe tweets.
So to Andrew, Ben, Jamie, Laura, Micah, Eric, Kevin, Mikey, Matt, Richard, Cherry, Andy, Lisa, and Selena. Woo, what an exhaustive list. Shame on me if I forgot any more of them over the years. Thank you. All my love, Samantha. That was a very nice email. Thank you.
Wow. This reminds me of, I mentioned the rock band in the top 10 list there. And what made me think of that was the Eagles. There's a new Eagles documentary on Showtime. And, I was reading some of the reviews about it and people were debating the merits of the Eagles. And what they said, one of the things they said about the Eagles was that you could do things while like you did things to the Eagles, like you partied with your friends or you did whatever. And what Samantha just said here about like, you know, you were in my ears my first day of college and when my boyfriend broke up with me, like that's some pretty powerful stuff.
Absolutely.
So for reunion, does that mean we're actually going on tour again?
I would love to go on tour.
As long as you get the merch, Mikey.
Next email from Rosemary. I was a very late Potter adopter, and I found MuggleCast after Deathly Hallows was published. In spite of my late start, I have enjoyed your podcast so much. I'm viewed as cool by my son's girlfriend because of my love for all things Potter. You kids have produced excellent work, and I look forward to the surprise MuggleCast that may happen in the future. Take care and all the best. Thank you again, Rosemary. Very nice email. Yeah, we've had people of all ages listening to MuggleCast over the years. That's something that I think surprised us at first. We didn't know who exactly would be listening. We imagined it was people around our own ages at the time. That was like 17 years old. And people have really grown up with the show.
Yeah, immediately we heard back from teachers who were using it in the classroom. Remember Mr. Nelson?
Yeah, Mr. Nelson was a cool dude.
Yeah, we heard from his. I mean, he used our podcast to help teach his class. So that was ages ago now. I hope he's still teaching. Mr. Nelson, if you're listening, because we do hear from other listeners who've heard from us since day one.
This is all making me sad.
Right in. Let me know. Well, okay, then I'll just power through. I'll take this one. This is for Gabriella. Hi, MuggleCat, because I wrote it in yellow in the doc, and people think it's hard to read. So I'm going to read it to prove them wrong. Haha. This is Gabriella. Hi, MuggleCasters. I write to you to simply say thank you. When I found out about you in October 2005, I was slightly lost, confused, nerdy, misfit, 13-year-old girl, and my life was starting to change dramatically. My mom just died, and I had to live with my older sister. Now, 8 years later, she's getting married, and I pretty much have to finally step up as an adult and live on my own. It's funny how I found you at the beginning of a very different and strange stage of my life, and I have to let you go at the beginning of another one. Nothing says to me grow up as having to let you go. What I'm trying to say is that you got me through very difficult times, and I'll miss listening to you guys, but eventually we all have to move on. I don't think I'll ever be ready to let you go, which is why I'll probably still listen to old episodes from time to time, but I hope with all my heart you'll succeed wherever life takes you. If everything you've accomplished in these 8 years is any indicator, I know that each and every one of you will. Even though I've never have and probably never will meet you, even though I've never have and probably never will meet you, I still feel proud of how far you've come. So one last time, I solemnly thank you. And in the words of the Marauders, mischief managed, LMFAO. I don't know if you... Oh, mischief managed. Greetings from Guatemala, Gabby S.
Thank you, Gabby.
I'm going to miss recording podcasts where you can mess with the show notes when somebody's reading an email. That's what I'm going to miss.
That's what I was laughing at, Ben. You're just putting all sorts of things in there.
Thank you, Gabby. That was very nice.
No, but seriously, thank you, Gabby.
Next email.
Can I read it? I want to read it.
Go ahead.
We should go around. You get some more speaking time for these guys.
I'll do them.
For these guys, Eric? Gwendolyn Scott says, Dear MuggleCast, I've been a listener of MuggleCast since the very first episode when I was a sophomore in high school. I've never written in before, but I figured now would be the perfect time to, since I owe you guys a big thank you. During my time in high school, I was bullied severely by other students and often sought comfort with my iPod listening to MuggleCast while in my school's graphics arts classroom. Listening to you guys talk about my favorite fandom really helped me get through those tough 4 years, and I continued listening to you all throughout college. I've graduated college and now work as a real graphic designer, and I still listen to you when you put out new episodes. Also, a huge Hype After Dark fan. What's that show, Andrew? I just needed to tell you how much MuggleCast really means to me and how much I've enjoyed listening over the years. You guys are the absolute best. Love, Gwendolyn.
I see a common theme in these emails about how people have changed over the years. I like it.
Yeah.
It's really impressive, inspiring.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to say, I may have talked about this before, but when I was in middle school, I was bullied a good amount, and that was one of the reasons that I kind of became more of a recluse and started getting more involved. Yeah, I became a wreck.
And I was bullied too. It's never kind. It's never, well, clearly, but
I mean, like, who hasn't been bullied? Like,
no, but
yeah. But something like this, it's good to know, because making the show gave me confidence. So it's good to know that listening to the show could give others confidence.
Micah, next email.
Next email is from Kayla, and she says, "Hey, MuggleCast, my name is Kayla. I'm 18 and from Winnipeg. That's in Canada for all you Star Kid fans out there. I've been listening to your podcast since about 2008, and you're most definitely my favorite podcast out there. I just want to say thank you for everything you guys have done. You made my life so much better throughout my junior high and high school years. I'm so sad that you're ending, and I'm just crossing my fingers that Joe will write about the Harry Potter world, so you'll have no choice but to come back. I'm going to have to get myself into the Game of Thrones fandom so I can hear Micah, Eric, and Selena on Game of Owns. And Andrew almost definitely should be checking out Hype. You guys should all just make a podcast together. Seriously, it can be about anything, and I'll listen. Anyway, thank you for all your hard work and dedication over the years. I plan on listening from episode 1 now that you guys are ending. I don't have time to say something about everybody who has been on MuggleCast, but Andrew, thank you for being an amazing, hilarious host. You make me laugh so much. Micah, I love your voice, and the news wouldn't be the same without you, even though you were recently fired.
By his own doing, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Anyway,
He's like,
I was fired on another podcast. Eric, I love how you can talk, and you're my favorite Hufflepuff. Ben, I wish you could have been on the show all the time recently because you are just the best. And Selena, I think you're so sweet, and it's nice to have that girl power on the show. Hope you guys are all super successful in your future endeavors. Thank you for everything. Kayla.
No, thank you, Kayla, for acknowledging that I'm the best.
And she PS's, I just want to say that tea towels from Jamie's British joke are also a very Canadian thing as well. Oh, and you should sell the MuggleCast shirts again. I would buy one in a heartbeat.
And
Anyways,
Warner Brothers will sue us in a heartbeat.
I was like, nowhere to go but jail. Maybe we'll record a podcast from jail.
Actually, maybe we'll have to sell underground, right, Andrew?
Yeah, just like last time.
double GLECAS in the T.
Mikey,
that's Andrew's Wizard rap single.
Right.
Google it.
Right.
Google it.
And the second one, okay, yeah, well, I was just going to say the NSYNC reunion the other day timed nicely with my, considering, my Wizard Rock Bye 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 single. Don't Let It Be July.
Don't Let It Be July.
Mikey, would you like to read the next email?
Sure.
From
why
Morgan.
Not? From Morgan. This is the first time I'm writing. My first episode was one where Jamie proposed to Andrew, episode 56.
Wow, when did that happen?
I thought he proposed to
When did
me,
that not
actually.
happen? When did that not happen?
If it happened, I would have said yes back then.
I just wanted to say thank you for being a building block that has made me who I am today. This might have to be the soup for the MuggleCast soul because it might get heavy. When I first started listening back in sophomore year, I was seeing my first serious girlfriend when I met her. She was being bothered by her old boyfriend. The full 4 years I was with her, we had to go to court to get this guy to leave her alone. I met her the same time I started listening to MuggleCast. So MuggleCast helped me in a very dark time when she needed a rock. I was there, but I needed a rock, and you were there for me. A little time after, I started listening to other podcasts around the net. I found filmmakers Kevin Smith podcast, Smodcast, Chris Hardworks, The Nerdist, and Smart Mouths. I even started adding more to Hype's own podcasts like Who Hype, Onceable, and Hype. Stopped listening to music on my way to work, and instead I listened to podcasts starting coming out of my show and waving my nerd flag high, showing off everything I know about Potter and more. Podcasts have become my safe haven in times of trouble. All my spare time was podcasts. High school, growing up, and events that happened last year in my hometown of Aurora, Colorado. I even got brave enough to start my own podcast last year, Wallflowers, which had hints of both MuggleCast and Smart Mouths. MuggleCast will always be part of my DNA. I became a better man because I decided to fall into the fandoms I love and show people it's not a bad thing to love TV shows, movies, comics, and where it all started, books. Thank you for so much for being my friend I needed and family that showed me how to live. and the inspiration to who I've become. Thank you, Morgan. Sorry, I'm getting all teary-eyed reading these things.
Oh, gosh.
I can't do it.
Thank you, Morgan. That was very nice as well. Next email as we continue the MuggleCast therapy
It's
session.
from Carver O'Blander. Dear MuggleCast, as your final episode will be recorded today, I just wanted to share some final thoughts on your incredible run. I started listening to MuggleCast around episode 83 when the cover of Deathly Hallows was released. I was in high school at the time, and now I'm a college graduate. I'm proud to say I never missed an episode during that time. You've kept me company on bus rides, car rides, plane rides, and even kick scooter rides. I've loved the range of entertaining hosts over the years, and your coverage of Harry Potter news is always insightful, amusing, and interesting. Your podcast has been like having on-demand Potter-obsessed friends that I can keep in my pocket. Thanks for years of awesomeness. I will be wearing my MuggleCast t-shirt today. Carver O'Blander, Portland, Oregon. Thank you, Carver. Oh, by the way, he just finished The Cuckoo's Calling. It was fantastic. He's looking forward to the movie and sequels.
Woo. Same. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a movie, too. That'll be good.
Oh, cool.
Kevin, do you want to read the email, or shall I? Kevin? Kevin has left. Goodbye, Kevin. This next email is from Mike. Hey, MuggleCasters. I listened since day one, way back when Book 6 was released, and I don't usually write into the show I listen to, but I have to thank you for the last 8 years of podcasting. Listening to this podcast helped continue my love for all things Potter and allowed me to continue the discussion of the series long after my friends wanted to talk about it. I've listened to your show all over the world when I was studying abroad in college and needed something familiar to remind me of home. When I needed a distraction while studying in high school and college, my go-to was always MuggleCast. Or even when I was just starting to walk around campus from class to class, I would pop in some MuggleCast, like a cassette tape, just to pass the time. MuggleCast has led me to countless other podcasts, and I now generally choose podcasts over music while at work or at the gym, and I want to thank you for introducing me to this form of media. Although MuggleCast is now ending, I'll continue listening to your other shows. This podcast will always have a special meaning to me, and I hope for the day that Joe comes out with more Potter so I can listen along with you guys. So everybody's very interested, I see, in our future endeavors. So that's good to hear. And, I'll let everybody start hitting up J.K. Rowling on Twitter now, and maybe she will write new Harry Potter material. Okay, so now it is time to get into some tweets. And now this isn't more of what we just read. We asked people on Twitter, what are your favorite moments from the show? And, of course, we got a lot of responses. This first one is from Lucine, a loyal listener who's always been there. I've seen him on Twitter all the time. He says, the email's responding to Andrew's accidental F-bomb. I have to say, guys, not to toot my own horn, but everybody really liked that moment. Kevin, please read some tweets.
I guess. Where are we looking?
Marky Mark.
Marky
Although this
Mark,
is spelled
yes.
funny.
Yes, because it's a marquee, as in the
Maybe
board.
he's in the theater business. Go ahead.
What's bugging Micah? Mikey?
Can you say his name after this?
Micah? Make
Yes.
the connection. I wasn't actually saying your name, Micah. That is, I wasn't asking for you to respond. Andrew's Wizard Rock career, 12-hour marathon, Matt's episode, Tootsie Roll spiel.
Ooh, the 12-hour marathon was fun.
I have to say, the Tootsie
was I?
Roll spiel was one of the worst moments in my recollection.
Why? Okay, but why?
I don't really remember what went on, but it's bringing back light memories, and I just remember not liking it.
I thought it was a good one. You asked me to, off the top of my head, come up with an advertisement. No, you put me on the spot. We were advertising MuggleCast t-shirt sales. And I was just staring at a piggy bank of like a Tootsie Roll container piggy bank thing, and I told people that the long and the short of it was, when you buy Tootsie Rolls, you don't know where the money is going, but when you buy MuggleCast t-shirts, you know it's going to us.
Yeah, I'm sorry I put you on the spot.
It's okay. It made this list. I'm so happy. Thank you, Marky Mark.
Kevin, you want to read a couple more? Just
Sure.
a couple more.
So this is Olivia Stewart. So many great episodes, but episode 233 was a favorite of mine with Andrew's Wizard Rock single, Bye Bye Bye.
Don't let it be July.
Well, it's not.
The name on this next one is odd.
Yeah.
You can just use the username.
It's an April Fool's joke.
How's
in
that?
August.
Her name's Betsy.
Yes. Betsy McGee. The April Fool's joke of 2008. I sat in my bed, panicked, and my gullible self nearly cried.
What was that? Did we say
What
we were
was
going to
it?
end the show, I guess?
Warner Brothers shutting us down. I don't
Wasn't
know.
that the one where Emerson and Melissa got married?
I don't think that would leave her in her bed panicked.
Maybe she wanted to marry.
Speak for yourself.
This next one's from Erica, meeting you guys for the first time in the New York City Live podcast in August 2006. Lisa says, my favorite episode was episode 100. You could just hear and feel the excitement everyone had. Yeah, I agree. That was cool. That was our Deathly Hallows episode.
Plus, we got introduced by Hagrid.
Yeah, that was neat. Micah, go ahead. You read a couple.
Oh, I was looking up what happened in April of 2008.
Keep at it.
But Brittany says my favorite is still Andrew's "Yeah" from that one live show, which I referenced earlier. Sounded a little bit like that. But the episode or event is slipping my mind at the moment. That was our New York live show, right? Our first ever.
That was the first live podcast. I was 16 or 17. I was nervous. Okay, that was my nervous reaction. So, whatever. But I'm glad that was your favorite moment.
You've overcome it. You've overcome it.
Of course. I have.
That was episode 15, by the way.
Natalie Holly.
Was it really 15?
15 for November 12th, 2005.
You're like a book.
I have a book open.
Oh, okay. Natalie Holly says favorite moment, episode 117 about Dumbledore being gay. I was 10 when it got released. It's probably the reason I'm not homophobic.
Aww.
No joke.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
She also went on to say also the latter part of the 12-hour live show when everyone got delirious.
I think I only came in like 7 or 8 hour and everyone was gone.
So many people have asked us to do the another 12-hour live show. I can't even imagine doing that. I can't.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, man.
What, you saying you don't have the stamina, Andy?
No, I got the stamina. I just don't understand why we even did it in the first place. What was that
Why don't we
for?
do it again? Why don't we do a fundraiser for Haiti? No, seriously, I'm sure they still need money. Let's do it. Let's make Haiti a thing again.
We can do a fundraiser around a 12-hour live show, but I don't think we did a fundraiser around our first 12-hour live one.
I think it was just getting on, and the thing of it was that it instantly we had 6 or 7 episodes. It was like episodes like 111 to 117 or 116 were all this live podcast. It was a great way to increase. It was 108 to 113. There were 6 parts.
I seem to remember. I think it was Jamie's idea.
It probably was, and I remember we ordered
Jamie.
pizza, and we were fighting to see whose pizza guy we get there first. That's all I remember.
Yeah, those were good. I have to listen to some of those again.
I want to listen to those now. That's what I remember, is waiting for my pizza, and I remember I lost because your pizza got there first, and someone did artwork about it.
Did we really? Oh, I gotta see that.
I need to look through my email because I remember that, because I remember I got no there was a picture of me waiting for, and I had an empty pizza box from the artwork that came out of that episode, because I lost and I didn't get pizza.
Could it have been Kelly? Because she did some of our memorable artwork, about the holidays.
Let's see if I can find it through the email.
Let's continue here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Next one is from Leah. It has to be when Micah read my tweet for Chamber of Secrets chapter by chapter. Jen said, the live show at Leaky right after Deathly Hallows Part 2. Listened to it right after I saw the movie myself. Ben, you want to read a couple?
Oh, sure. Yeah, Mike Hunt says, definitely the episode 133 intro. Funniest moment in MuggleCast ever. What happened in that intro?
Was that the F word one? It must have been that word one.
133 was called Laura is Fired. Did we fire Laura? Is that? I don't even remember that.
Trinica says Jamie singing along to Cascadas every time we touch. I remember we were at Lumos in 2006, and Jamie, we had this big suite, and Lumos is a Harry Potter conference. It was in Vegas, and a lot of people on this show were there. And anyways, Jamie was in his room with headphones in, jumping up and down on the bed, like screaming every time we touch, and the maid walked in on him. and then he was really embarrassed, but it was hilarious.
We have to dig him up. We have old pictures of Jamie jumping on the bed, and it was taken with a good camera, so he's just mid-air, his hair is flying everywhere. I still remember his face. He has like this really stern look on his face, iPod in his ears. Like,
didn't we get a recording of it? I swear.
Yeah, we had a recording.
Somebody recorded it.
Yeah.
Because it was at the end of one of the MuggleCasts.
Yeah, it's on the show. It's on one of the episodes. Yeah, I mean, Lumos, that was my first time flying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
You kept snapping pictures out the window.
That's when I met you guys.
Smack you.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's when you were the Apple guy.
Yep.
And now you were an Apple guy then, and now you're an Apple certified pro.
Trainer.
Look how far.
Evolution.
Next.
You're a certified trainer?
Yeah. I travel the state teaching.
Next email's from Ashley. The live show in St. Louis in 2007 was her favorite. It was a magical time being surrounded by fellow Potter fans.
I remember that show. It was at a library.
Yeah. Carrie Ann said, "Can't believe it's come to an end. Chapter by chapter was the best thing ever."
And there was some debate over that, actually, when we started doing chapter by chapter, because that one guy who talks a lot, he used to make chapter by chapter a lot longer than it needed to be. We'd be through like the first page of one of the chapters, and we'd be like 45 minutes in, and we'd be like, Eric, this isn't character by character. Like,
I thought you were speaking hypothetically, Ben, with like names omitted or redacted to
he tried, and then he couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of which, the next tweet is Mohammed Salim says the beginning episodes with Eric's excessive talking.
See, the beginning episodes, okay? I'm reformed now. Enough said.
Wow.
Yeah. Next email's from Nick. Eric, his favorite moment was Eric asking Laura if she got her pants back that he sent to her. Episode 97, I believe.
That reminds me, Micah, you remember after Chicago 2012 LeakyCon, I told you that I had one of your shirts?
Yeah. Have you not sent it back?
Well, no, you told me to throw it away, but I haven't.
Did I?
Because you kept saying you were going to come visit again. So I actually still have your shirt.
Oh,
he smells it periodically.
He sent your boxers a long time ago.
I'm not even lying. I have your shirt. It's in my. Well,
thanks.
It's protected. So,
Micah, that reminds me. Did you get your thong back that I sent? Damn it! I wanted to do that without laughing. Next, but seriously, let me know if you got your thong back. Next email is from Pablo. The entire 162nd episode, my personal favorite. The very best discussions you guys had. High praise indeed. So thank you, everybody, for sending those in via Twitter, twitter.com/MuggleCast. Even though we're ending the show, you'll still be able to stay updated on the latest Harry Potter news and future shows when we do them down the line through those, as well as the MuggleCast website.
So just so people know, episode 162 was a political discussion, comparisons between the politics of the real world, racism, ethnic cleansing, Nazism, evils, corruption, bias, media, education reform. So that was a pretty serious episode, I guess.
Yeah, it was an episode that featured Andrew, Micah, Matt, and Elisa.
And
look at all this context.
Wow, we've never had that much context on
anything ever.
Well, that's because, guys, I came up with this isn't overdue. Can I tell a story real quick? Ben, I promise I'll make it quick. There was a project I had in mind. This was over a year ago when we were prepping for Ascendio, the Harry Potter conference, and I wanted to figure out just how many episodes each of the hosts had been on for the entire history of MuggleCast. And I sourced it. Basically, I wrote out on Twitter, for volunteers. And I broke each of the episodes. By then, there were like 250. So I found 25 volunteers to go and look up who had been in each episode, as well as when it aired and what the title of the episode was and all this other stuff. So I collected this data. I literally just sourced all this data all of a sudden about it. And I have totals. I have episode totals for each of us, including tonight's performance, if you should like to hear them.
Okay.
So who do you think has been on the most episodes, by the way? Let's just...
I was going to say Micah.
Well, those are the top two, believe that or not. Andrew, we feel like we should have like really exciting music, but out of the 269 episodes of MuggleCast, you have appeared on 255.
Me, Andy?
Andrew.
Wow, that's less than 5%. That's just slightly over 5% drop rate there.
Well,
Andy.
it is an honor and a privilege to accept this award. I've always wanted a MuggleCasty, and this is my moment. Thank you.
You've been on the most episodes. You are our fearless leader, Andrew.
I would like to thank Voldemort and Grindelwald and SpongeBob. Thank you.
So that means you only missed 14 episodes. It means you were only not on 14 episodes. Odds are you edited the ones that you weren't even on.
Sometimes, yes.
Yes.
That occasionally happen.
So there's that. Second place comes Micah with, well, it's not really placing, but yes, Micah with 208 episodes. I'm in third. I got 181 MuggleCast in. Lara comes next with 132. Ben with 98. Jamie with 83. Matt Britton with 70. Kevin Steck with 54. Mikey Boucheroux with 33. Elisa with 12, Selena with 9, Nick Myers, everybody remembers Nick, Polite Nick, 8, and Richard Reed got 5 episodes.
I was on 98.
Oh, yeah, that shocks me.
Yeah,
98 episodes.
I was on like those first 2 years when we had a ton of episodes. I was on most of those.
Yeah,
and then I kind of petered out.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to recount. I'm not sure about that.
I have it broken down by
I'm kidding.
100 episodes. I got the whole list.
He has a pivot.
It would take too much time to read. But I thought that would be just an interesting thing to look back on.
That is.
Eric, you should have him go back and source like how much audio of each episode was was you talking. So it'd be hilarious because you're only on 208 episodes, but you did like 85% of the total talking. I'm just kidding. I love
Eric. Episode. It's my solemn vow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. That was interesting.
And Andrew, by the way, the April Fools we said that we were changing the format of MuggleCast and we were branching out into discussing other
Twilight
fantasy-based novels. Yeah, you were actually not on that episode. You were in Portland at the time visiting the set.
Oh, it all added up.
How we were able to spin that joke.
That's funny.
However, did you find that info, Micah?
I found it by going to MuggleCast.com and checking out the transcript.
Well, and you guys also like actually prepared for an episode for the first time in like 100 episodes. I'm just kidding.
I even had a top 10 list.
Yeah. That blew me away. I'm just stunned after that. But I will say, guys, that, and I'm talking it, of course, but it's important to note that the MuggleCast website is not going away.
Yeah.
In case anybody thought that, the episodes are still going to be there for download. And our MuggleCast email address, nobody's planning on canceling that. So it's just, we'll talk more about that later.
Here is a birthday wish before we do the wrap up, and also a surprise from Micah. This is from Harshita. Hey, MuggleCasters, thank you so much for being amazing. I know it's early, but I just wanted to ask whether you could wish me a happy birthday, as my birthday is on the 9th of October, and I'm turning 13. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, happy birthday, Harshita.
Happy birthday.
I'm hoping pronouncing that right. Harshita.
Happy birthday.
And Ben, happy birthday to you, because I know you just celebrated a birthday.
That's true.
I did. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Micah, you just celebrated a birthday too, didn't you?
Yeah, about a week ago. Ben and I, we're very close, birthday-wise.
Oh, I got excited for a second.
When is your birthday?
The 17th.
Okay. That's the same day of my brother's birthday is the 18th.
Well, depending, because Micah's on the East Coast and you were in Central Time, right? Could be born the same moment.
That's true.
So
Very
we'll never
true.
know. Do the math on that one.
Yeah.
Put that into a
I'll
spreadsheet.
have to get more volunteers. By the way, I wanted to thank those volunteers here.
Go ahead.
Who contributed to that project. I'll read it really quick. Kelsey, Kate, Charlie, Savannah, Janaki, Kellen, Matthew, Ambra, Tiffany, Stephanie, Amanda, Mauricio, Gina, Jonathan, Nabeth, Kellen, Kelly, Samantha, Kelsey, Kaylee, AJ, BK, Christy, Luke, Yvette, Kyle, Christina, Jessica, Tracy, and Thomas. And especially Tracy, because she did multiples. But that was everybody who helped compile the numbers.
I might have to take a minute here as well, because this is the final episode, and we mentioned the transcripts earlier, and I think that it's only appropriate to thank all of them for having transcribed the show over the last 8 years.
Yes. Thank you.
So,
thank you, transcribers. We really appreciate your help. When we started that, I don't know if we ever imagined it would turn into a full-fledged... I mean, every single episode has been transcribed, thanks to the transcribers. And I'm going to do them a favor right now and stop talking. Goodbye.
well, I wanted to say their names because I think that it's a nice way to thank them. Tracy, obviously, Eric mentioned her already. Ariel, Elise, Eric, Lakshmi, Laura B, Laura S, Mariam, Olivia, Shayna, Aldrin, Alexandra, Conrad, Desta, Delara, Ellie, Emily C, Emily M, Heather, Jean, Kristen, Christina, Leah, Marissa, Maritza, Nikki, PJ, Rachel P, Rachel R, Shannon, Shelby, Shoaib. I'm probably messing that one up. I apologize. Tara, Tim, Victoria. And that's it. So
thank you, everybody.
And to everybody else, including myself, who is transcribing. I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Micah.
That's how I started.
Micah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do our final messages now. It sounds so dramatic.
Jerry Springer.
And then we'll have Micah's little surprise type
It's
thing.
a good way to end the show, I think, right?
Absolutely. I would just like to say thank you to everybody over the past 8 years. I mean, this show has been a huge springboard for me in multiple ways. I won't say them.
Sorry.
I won't say them because otherwise it would be a plug. So thank you everybody so much for the support. I mean, we could never have imagined this show would have been as popular and as successful as it has been. And it really taught me and the rest of the hosts so much about how to podcast and even just basically socialize. So it has been fantastic. And I know a lot of people are interested in seeing, what we do next. So I will also use this as a plug. I will continue to be churning away over at Hypeable and on my podcast Hype over there. It's basically a expanded MuggleCast with multiple fandoms. So thank you, everybody. That's really all I could say.
Yeah. Just to echo that, I think really just the people that we've met throughout the years have been some of the, nicest people. And the fact that they, listen to us and then come say hi at a public event, either it's a book event or, just somewhere out in the world at the cons and everything. It was lovely to meet you all. To everybody who I haven't met, I hope to meet you someday because I'll shake your hand and I'll say thank you for listening.
Who's next?
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know really where to start. I mean, like I said earlier on in the show, I had no idea kind of what we were getting ourselves into here with all of this. And, yeah, I'm just immensely grateful for everyone that's ever come out to a book signing or anything like that. Yeah, or to the live shows or anybody who bought my book that had almost like everything predicted. Like Harry being a Horcrux. I called it. Yeah.
No wonder it was a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah. So, but more importantly, yeah, just like, I guess, the confidence that, once you got into the flow of podcasting and interacting with people and everything, it really did provide a lot of confidence. And I think everybody has their insecurities and stuff. And so it's good to do something that that people enjoy and that you're getting positive feedback on, as well as constructive criticism. That's equally important. And that's I mean, that's been an invaluable experience, and I hope that I can continue to have that in other areas of my life, even though MuggleCast won't be continuing. In short, I love you all.
Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can add anything that hasn't been said already. The opportunities that we all were able to experience as a result of this have been fantastic. We met some amazing people, and had, I mean, as it was said before, we gained a level of confidence that we never had before. So, I would like to thank everyone, and yeah.
Mikey?
I wanted to thank all of you guys too. I started out as a listener. I remember meeting you guys at Lumos, and I remember when you guys got pulled from the iTunes store, and like I said, I was a listener, and then I came on the show, and you guys were my friends. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I want to thank all you guys and all the fans, and seriously, it's been all the memories. Like, who would have gone on a tour talking about Harry Potter? Like, that's really cool. And just meeting people and talking to people across the country about things that we love. Like I said earlier, when I was reading one of the emails, that I really am sad about this. Like, I haven't been on in a long time, and Andrew's asked me, and I've just been busy and stuff. And it's just, you guys have been like family to me over 8 years, and listeners have sent emails and stuff. It's just been awesome. So I want to thank everyone, you guys and listeners. And
Mikey,
I know.
I'm thinking there's no other group I'd rather talk to about Harry Potter with. Like,
and I just wanted to add that I feel like it goes so much beyond Harry Potter, because it's affected all of our lives in so many ways. Like Mikey said, you met your wife at a Harry Potter conference. I mean, it's become our lives in a lot of ways. And it's led to a lot of things. It's been a catalyst.
Numerous people associated with the show and MuggleNet and all the Harry Potter sites have entered relationships with people that they would not have met if it weren't for MuggleCast, MuggleNet, these other Harry Potter sites as well.
Complete opposite sides of the globe, too.
Yeah. But actually, extra shout out to you, Mikey, because without you, I probably wouldn't have moved out to California at the time that I did, because you put a great plan in my head that I loved from the minute you gave it to me. So I owe you a thank you for that. I'm serious, still. Yeah.
Now I'm not even in California.
I know. You misled me.
Now I will be back for Christmas. I will be back for Christmas. We got to meet up again.
Andrew, come here. See ya. Oh, you made it. All right.
I mean, I just really echo a lot of what's already been said. I think that just the, all you guys, as Mikey said already, the fact that we're all friends and we wouldn't know each other if not for this entire experience. And, the listeners have been great. To me, it's always kind of blown my mind that somebody can be walking down a street in, Japan or France or South Africa and listening to what we have to say and, feeling the need to respond and just kind of create that dialogue. It's amazing to me. And a lot of what we read here today definitely, was meaningful. It was impactful to see, that we've been able to, just kind of be a resource or just kind of a refuge in a lot of cases for people to go and just kind of escape, if only for a little bit.
Absolutely. And Micah, I saved you for last since you have the extra bonus MuggleCast feature. I don't know how to describe it without calling it what it is.
So let me, let's just start this way. And it's good that the date is written the way that it is, because otherwise I probably would screw it up, because it's not written by somebody in this country. October 10th, 2008. Dear MuggleCasters, first of all, I must apologize very much indeed for the ridiculously long wait for a response to your wonderful letter. My excuse, such as it is that my post bag has swollen to almost unmanageable proportions since I finished the 7th Harry Potter book. This caught me off guard, and I have been struggling to catch up with my ever-expanding backlog for the best part of a year. I loved hearing from you directly at long last. What can I say to you in return except that you will never know how much I valued, no, treasured, my articulate, opinionated, funny, loyal, perceptive, argumentative, and hugely entertaining fandom as exemplified by the MuggleCasters, as personified by you all. Finishing the series was both wonderful and traumatic for me. I had lived with these characters and known them intimately for so long that I felt a sense of true bereavement when it hit me that I could not go and visit Hogwarts anymore. For 17 years I lived in and loved Harry's world, and, much as some readers will doubt me when I say it, nobody felt the ending quite like I did. The one great positive for me was that Deathly Hallows is my favorite of the series. It is the book I wanted it to be from the outset, and while I knew I could not please everybody, I did please myself. I do hope, though, because I'm still an insecure writer, that I pleased people whose opinions I value, which most certainly includes you. With lots of love, J.K. Rowling.
So
Wait, she actually wrote you?
Yes.
This is 5 years ago. You've been holding on to this letter 5 years ago?
Yeah, so what happened was Laura, Micah, and Kevin.
Yep.
Was there one other person involved with that? I don't know.
You.
Oh.
But I think you know, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we wrote this letter to J.K. Rowling, and as she noted at the start of the letter, it took her a little while to reply, but she did. And for some reason, we've never really read it on the show, and then it dawned on us a few weeks ago that if we weren't going to actually have J.K. Rowling on the show, why don't we actually read the letter since we've never read it? At least we don't think we have. So,
No, I don't think we've ever read that.
So that is a message from J.K. Rowling acknowledging the MuggleCasters. Finally, victory is ours. It was very nice, right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, think of it. She's the woman who wrote the Cormoran Strike novel, and she's writing these.
Now I'm starstruck.
Those words to us. I know.
Well, of course, we owe J.K. Rowling everything for everything in relation to this podcast and MuggleNet and all of our friendships. So thank you, Joe, for sending us that letter. And we'll let you slide, and Michael will follow you again on Twitter. So
no, that's not going to happen.
Well, guys, on the show, you noticed throughout the years that we do enjoy Harry Potter, and we really put ourselves out there and grew, and we've talked about that. Now that we are moving on, we are doing other things. We're still out there. We're still growing and still producing things. And so I wanted to take a moment and just go around the table and kind of share with our listeners one final time, one definitive time, where exactly they can find us from this moment forth, going forward.
So Eric and Micah can be found on Game of Thrones 3 times a week.
Yes, it's a Game of Thrones podcast through winteriscoming.net. And we enjoy that, don't we, Micah?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
I know
we do it with Selena.
Yeah.
With Zach Louie, who is a friend of ours. And, you guys all know Selena. She's been on this podcast. What was it? 9 times? 5 times?
9 times.
9 times.
There you go.
Didn't quite break 10.
And anything else for you two?
Yeah, Micah, what do you want to share anything else?
No, I mean, that's really as far as being online where you can find me.
You can find Micah 5 days a week in Manhattan. Okay.
That's right. Right. Also, at MJTBAUM on Twitter. I feel like everybody else does it, so why shouldn't I?
Yeah, and it's true. It's true. You're on Twitter there. I'm on Twitter at Spielerman, SPIELERMAN. That's where you all can find me, and I'm trying to start a blog, actually, on my personal website, which is crownskull.com.
Whoa, breaking news? Is this breaking news?
Yeah, I'm going into blogging, guys.
I'm going into blogging. I'm making Crown Skull Net, where I follow all the developments on Crown Skull.
Why don't you just add a category on Hype?
I would be honored.
Eric, I may be able to help you there.
Thank you, Kevin. It's WordPress.
Okay, so
I would be honored, Kevin.
From me, I'm not going to repeat everything that I've already said, but, well, yes, I am. Hypeable.com and also Hype Podcast. That's all I'm saying about that. You can follow me there. I hope you follow me over. We're doing some great stuff. Hypeable.com and Hype Podcast. Who else wants to plug anything?
Okay, I have a new political website that I started. It is called bluethenation.com. It is about democratic politics. There's also a site that I am an owner of that is called Feminspire, which a lot of our audience is female, and it's all about empowering women. And the slogan is "Where Women Make Media." So you should visit that. And I also I have a new podcast that's going to be coming out within the next month. So you should follow me on @BenSchoen. That's BenSchoen on Twitter, and look for updates on that.
We'll put all the links in the show notes. By the way, anybody else? Kevin. Kevin needs help on his site Tumblr. Please, somebody visit. It's about to go out of business. No, Kevin, Mikey.
Yeah, two things for me. People can follow me at mynameismikey.com, my website. I post a lot of goofy stuff there. I'll also be posting links to season 2 of a web series that I'm working on called Brothers Barbarian. You can actually visit brothersbarbarian.com. I spent and I'm being yelled at, but I have to go.
All right, bye, Mikey. It was good seeing you.
It's actually called mynameismikey.com?
mynameismikey.com. That's my website. Okay. And you can follow me on Twitter at Mikey Bouchreau. All right, bye, guys.
See ya. Actually, I think the website is we're 10minuteslate.com.
Bye, guys. Yeah, bye.
And who? One other person? Or no? Is that it? Kevin, did you have anything?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter, Kevin Steck, and same thing with Tumblr.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm Andrew Sims.
I am Benjamin Schoen.
I am Kevin Steck. And we've lost everyone else.
Waiting for Eric.
No, but Micah, you got to look in the order. I already wrote it down in the doc.
Oh, I'm not looking at that.
Well, I guess you don't get to say goodbye. Next.
I'm Micah Tannenbaum.
I'm Eric Skull.
And Mikey was last on the list.
Mikey was late.
Mikey is 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
Okay, then
goodbye.
I get the end.
And
Mikey's in the doghouse.
And we'll see you next time for episode 270, whenever that may be. Goodbye.
So long.
Bye.
This is Professor McGonagall welcoming you to all to MuggleCast, hoping you enjoyed. Dobby, come here. Yeah, Dobby.
Yes, well, I'd just like to say how very pleased I am to introduce MuggleCast to all of you. Thank you.
Don't you ever wonder what will happen when it ends? How can we let go of the ones who we call friends? And I know it's only a story, but for so many it's more than that. It's a world all on its own where we want to put on that sorting hat. And I will miss the train ride in and the planks pulled by the twins. And though it's nowhere I have been, I'll keep on smiling from the times I had with them.
Hello, this is David Heyman, and I'm the producer of the Harry Potter films, and this is MuggleCast.
Could there ever be again another one like this? One that's brought us together and started its own music movement. And I will miss the train riding and the planks pulled by the twins. And though it's nowhere I have been, I'll keep on smiling from the times I had with them. Soon we will see it closed. The final chapter is closed. It's an end of an era, and I'm seeing clearer that nothing will ever be the same. And I will miss the train riding and the planks pulled by the twins. And though it's nowhere I have been, I'll keep on smiling